Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we will decide a champion in all three series here for the trucks, the Xfinity series, as well as the Cup series. A huge episode today of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode, and I'm very excited to get it underway, and we're going to jump right into the action here for the first race of the championship weekend here at Phoenix Raceway with the Gander RV and Outdoors Truck Series, where of course Erik Jones is trying to bring home the championship for Kyle Busch Motorsports. We've been keeping an eye on him throughout this whole season to see how he was going to do, and he finds himself now in the Final Four with an opportunity to win the championship. There you see the pole winner of Todd Gilliland. In the next episode, it will not be the Daytona 500. It will actually be an off-season video going over all of the changes going into next season. Of course, due to me being on PC, I can mod the game, so you're going to see all the changes with silly season and whatnot. Todd Gilliland will be involved in that. I haven't made an announcement about it yet, but he will be involved now as we got underway though for this championship race here in the Lucas Oil 150 at Phoenix Raceway. Erik Jones starting on this bottom lane. You keep in mind a few seasons ago when I was in the Truck Series, we managed to win the championship here at Phoenix Raceway. So the goal was, of course, to get Erik a championship here today in Phoenix, and we were hoping he was going to be able to pull that off as he came through out of turns 4 going down this front stretch crossing the line. But it was pretty evident early on that there was definitely not as much speed in this truck that Erik was hoping for as he went down into turns 1. All of his competitors were pretty much ahead of him there as he finally would pass one of his competitors though, of Johnny Sauter. This was already past midway point of this race. Erik was just struggling so hard to make up any ground, so it was pretty obvious now at this point that it was looking like Erik is not going to bring home a championship here today in the Truck Series. And we come through towards the end of this race. There was actually a bit of contact there with the 40 of Ross Chastain, who sent it up his inside, so he would lose a position to Chastain as well as Stuart Friesen as he came through to start what would be the final lap here in Phoenix. Erik just had gone nowhere. It was a rough race for him. He couldn't really compete for a championship, unfortunately, as he came through turns 1 and 2 for the final time here in Phoenix. Now right behind Stuart Friesen on the exit of turn 2, everything sinking in for him at this point as he is not going to win the Truck Series championship as he dives down into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. So out of the final 4, it's going to be P3 for Erik Jones as he exits the corner, coming through to cross the line in a disappointing result here in Phoenix. Not even in the top 10, P11 there, as Grant Enfinger actually wins the Truck Series championship here in the Truck Series. So definitely disappointing for Erik, but of course nothing we can do about it at this point, and just set our sights on watching how he does in the Xfinity series as well, going for a championship on that side as well. There you see Grant Enfinger with the championship. Sheldon Creed missed it by 1 point now as we are going to get underway now for the Xfinity series race. Once again, like I said, Erik Jones in the 54 car for Joe Gibbs Racing. Now there will be an announcement as well from myself in the next silly season video based off of what's going to be happening in the Truck Series, as maybe I'll be starting a team and then I might have another little thing to go along with that. So it's going to be very interesting. I'm excited for you guys to see what the announcement is now as we are underway though here in the Xfinity Series for the championship race. Erik Jones once again trying to win a championship the day after he lost the Truck Series championship as he dives down into turns 1. Michael Annett, though, was in the Final 4. He started on the pole, and right off the bat, he was driving away from the field, which is already a concern for Erik, knowing how he drove in the truck race, and it was kind of about the similar performance right here at the start of the race here in the Xfinity side as he came through out of turns 4 up the inside of the JRM driver of Justin Allgaier as he cuts through on that dog leg, trying to get as much ground as he can as he dives down towards turns 1, trying to get up the inside of the 4 as well of Jesse Little, but he slides up the track a little bit there. Not the corner he was looking for, as he was actually 3 wide with David Starr as well as Justin Allgaier. So we come through a little bit later though. He was trying to now make a move on the inside of that Ford car. A little bit of pressure from behind from Anthony Alfredo, but it was right now Michael Annett leading the way still with the championship victory in his hands at this point as he came through out of turns 2. You see Erik now passing that Ford car of Jesse Little, and he would complete that pass, and he came through a little bit later trying to run down Ryan Sieg there in that 39 car as he came through turns 3 and 4. Alfredo still putting some pressure on the back of Jones, but Michael Annett, he was long gone at this point, and now everything's setting in again for Erik, realizing that he's probably not going to be a champion. He came through to start what would be the final lap here in the Xfinity Series race, and Annett had just continued to drive away from the field to an easy championship victory. I never thought I would see the day of Michael Annett winning a championship, let alone a race. Now as it goes down this back straightaway towards turn 3. So Michael Annett is going to win the Xfinity Series Championship now as Erik Jones comes through out of turns 4. Another disappointing day for Erik Jones in Phoenix Raceway just after the truck race, so no championship again for the Joe Gibbs Racing Team. P8 though in the Xfinity side for Erik there. As you see, Michael Annett wins the race as well as the Xfinity Series Championship. There you see the rest of the finishing order. Harrison Burton down in P19. Some silly season news maybe coming up about him. Can't say too much yet about that either. But now it is time to get ready for the big race here at Phoenix for the Cup Series to decide a champion. As before we get going for that race, there you see, of course, Erik got third. But before we get going, we're actually going to have a pre-race show very quickly here, hosted by Matt Chaffee.
4 drivers remain after 9 playoff races in the 2020 season. Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Jimmie Johnson, and Joey Logano are set to scrap it out for a championship here today at Phoenix Raceway. With many possible storylines, let's kick things off with Andrew Wisdom.
Thanks, Matt. Jimmie Johnson, the 7-time champion, has a chance to become an 8-time champion today, which would be a new record in the Cup Series. Johnson has been a part of a 3-way tie of 7 with Dale Earnhardt and Richard Petty since 2016, and he would love to change that today. Over to you, Matt.
Denny Hamlin has made the Final Four multiple times in his Cup Series career and has still yet to win a championship. And with so many things happening to Denny currently, like starting a new team with Michael Jordan, many have questioned if he has the mentality in the right place to win the title today. What do you got, Eddie?
Kyle Busch has a strong record in Final Four appearances as well. He looks to continue his strong performance today. He'll be a 3-time champion if he can win the title today, which would also be 3 championships in just the last 6 seasons for the Joe Gibbs Racing driver.
Joey Logano has a trend of advancing to the Final Four every other season, and he continues that into this season by being the last driver to point his way into this round. Logano looks to win his 2nd championship after earning his 1st in 2018.
Alright guys, we've met the final 4 drivers for this 2020 season finale, but who do we think is going to actually come out on top for the title today? What's your thought, Jay?
I'd watch for Joey Logano. He may seem like the weakest contender of the 4, but he knows how to win at Phoenix, and he's known to be one of the most aggressive drivers on the track. You know he will put everything on the line. Watch for him today for sure.
I think Denny is a clear favorite here, to be honest. He's won the most races this season and has just continued to run up front on a regular basis. And he absolutely dominated the field on the last short track, which was just in the last race at Martinsville Speedway. The no championships from Denny in his career is at least still lurking. Maybe in the back is something to keep in mind, as he's kind of choked away some championships in the past, but I think he's definitely a strong pick to get it done today. Who do you got, Matt?
Kyle Busch for sure. He's been fast. He's won many races, but has almost been quietly up front all season long, and we know Kyle Busch will do whatever it takes to put his car up front. Who's your choice, Andrew?
I'm choosing the guy I talked about earlier, Jimmie Johnson. I think he becomes an 8-time champion today, even though he had a rough start to the season. He didn't get into the playoff picture until a victory at Watkins Glen, but now he has 4 wins on the season and has shown tremendous speed in the playoffs. It's his last race, so I expect him to throw it all on the line. What else does he have to lose?
Alright, it looks like everyone here is choosing someone different. I'm also going to go with Jimmie Johnson on this one. It would be such a feel-good moment for everyone. One thing to keep noted, this is Jimmie's final race in his Cup Series career. It's been an incredible career for Jimmie, and we'll see if he can become an 8-time champion. Now, Gary, it's over to you.
Thank you, Matt, and thank you for everybody being involved there with the pre-race show now as we are ready to get going for this championship race in Jimmie Johnson's final race of his NASCAR Cup Series career, of course. Now we're going to see if he can become an 8-time champion here today, as we, of course, have qualifying to get through first. The goal was a 26.090 as we dive down into turns 1. I'm going to show the whole qualifying lap this time out. It's the final race of the season, so why not? And as we come through out of turns 2, it was a pretty decent 1 and 2. I had to get out of the throttle a little bit there out of turns 2, so I definitely gave up some time right there as we dive down now into turns 3, getting under that yellow line here through the restart zone as we exit turns 4. Decent exit on the corner. We come through to cross the line, though, not beating our goal with a 26.262, and we qualify P14 for the season finale here at Phoenix Raceway for the championship races. We're going to check out the rest of the grid. It's going to look a little bit different next season, so get one last look on what we have right now here in the 2020 season, as we've got Chad Fincham at the very bottom now. And up towards the front there, you see Joey Logano outside the top 20, Kyle Busch P18, Johnson 17th, and Denny Hamlin is the best Final Four driver, qualifying P3. So the other three have a lot of work to do coming into this race. Keep in mind, it's Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Jimmie Johnson, and Joey Logano all going for a title here today in the Cup Series. Johnson looking for championship number 8, Hamlin for number 1, Kyle Busch for championship number 3, Joey Logano looking for championship number 2. But before these guys got on the grid here, you see some clips of Jimmie Johnson. He was coming out of the pit lane. Very excited to see how he's going to do here today in Phoenix Raceway. And he was really my personal pick to win this championship. I'd love to see him get championship number 8. But he's not the only one retiring. We got Clint Boyer as well coming out of the pit lane here, now making his final start here today at Phoenix Raceway before getting replaced by Chase Briscoe next season. And one more driver as well, Matt Kenseth, coming out of the pit lane there before they all got on the whole grid and whatnot there. So that's his final race as well before getting replaced by Ross Chastain next season. And Alex Bowman, of course, will be in that 48 car next season. And keep in mind, I'm not basing all these silly season picks off of real life. So you see Eric Jones being in the 88 next season. I made that decision very well knowing he was not going to be in the 88 car because I can put the drivers where I want to, as this is a video game now, as we are though ready to get going for the season finale. The championship race is underway here at Phoenix Raceway. We start P14. Denny Hamlin leads the Final Four standings right now. Jimmie Johnson, Kyle Busch, Joey Logano all on the outside of the top 15 right now. So the way it looks right here as we go into turns 1 is this could maybe even be a breeze of a championship race for Denny Hamlin. But immediately you see the 48 of Jimmie Johnson getting to my inside as we go down the back straightaway. Of course, I don't want to be messing with the championship drivers too much, so I'm going to definitely take it easy on a driver like Denny Hamlin, of course, our teammate, as well as Kyle Busch, another teammate of ours in the Final Four. Jimmie Johnson, so much respect for a driver, a 7-time champion, looking to become an 8-time champion today, which would break the 3-way tie between himself, Dale Earnhardt, and Richard Petty. Johnson got that 7th championship back in the 2016 Homestead Miami race for the season finale. Now as we go down this back straightaway side by side with Austin Dillon as I dive up the inside there of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. A late call there, but I chopped down a little bit on the 3. Thankfully, we made it work, and we now climb up to P15 again as across the line. Now on lap 3, 16 laps to go on the stage, but immediately you're seeing the 48 of Jimmie Johnson being probably the most active driver right now of this Final Four, other than Denny Hamlin, who continued to hold on to second place now as we came out of turns 2 on lap 4, now trying to get past the 12 of Ryan Blaney as we went down the back straightaway. So Johnson looking really strong here, though, in these opening laps. Now as we had actually Joey Logano. He had gotten up to the position behind me. There was contact made with the 12 of Ryan Blaney, but we all keep it going in the right direction, thankfully now, as I would then run down Brad Keselowski, get up the inside of him through turns 1 and 2 on lap 6. And you keep in mind here, Cole Custer is actually leading this race right now as we go down the backstretch. So he's starting to show some speed here in the final race of the season. We are the only rookie that has gotten a win this season now as we come through out of turns 4. There was a little bit of contact right there with Keselowski on the exit of turns 4 with 12 laps to go in stage 1 as we dive down into turns 1. And now the 2 cars going to go sideways beside us. He makes the save now, and we would then put our sights right on the 95 of Christopher Bell as we come through out of turns 2, now trying to make a pass on him. So Keselowski keeps going in the right direction, but he did lose a position or 2 as he was now under attack from Joey Logano. The 3 Penske drivers were all right behind us now as we came through out of turns 4 side by side with Christopher Bell, another rookie that we are battling against this season. And it's pretty obvious that we did win Rookie of the Year now as we dive down into turns 1, still side by side with the 95. Christopher will remain in that 95 car in the career mode next season, but definitely look for some more improvements out of that car as the JGR Alliance will be building up, as well as there's going to be a bit of a more build-up of the alliance between Joe Gibbs Racing and the 96 car for Gaunt Brothers Racing. Now as the driver has not been announced for that car in the career mode next season, but that announcement will be coming in the very next episode for the silly season video. But we come through to 5 laps to go here in stage 1. It was still Denny Hamlin leading the championship race, but Jimmie Johnson was continuing to close in on him. Hamlin's speed was falling off drastically here at the end of the stage. He was holding up everybody in front of us, so basically 2nd through 11th was in a big pack of cars here as we go down the backstretch, approaching the final few moments of this first and opening stage. We come through down into turn 3, now approaching the final lap of the stage, and Hamlin being so far off the pace allows me to close into the back of Kevin Harvick here as we run P12, starting the final lap of the stage. I was very confident here because I definitely could tell that we had some strong speed in this car on the longer run, like we did in some of the past races here in the playoffs. As we come through out of turn 2, Harvick P11, he has been winless all season long, a very uncharacteristic season from Harvick. He still had a good playoff run, made it to the round of 8. Now as we come through turn 3, up the inside of Harvick as Newman gets up the inside of Hamlin for a second. As we come through to cross the line, still Harvick clears us, and we're going to be P12 in the first and opening stage of the championship race here at Phoenix Raceway. Now as Denny Hamlin leads the championship race at the end of stage 1, Jimmie Johnson would be P2 in the 6th position, and then we still got Kyle Busch and Joey Logano, the other Final Four drivers, not even inside the top 10. Honestly, guys, I think we got a pretty good car here in the long run. This might actually play into our favor. I know we've had some races go long here in the past, so we might be in good shape. There you heard a little bit of confidence in my voice there from the radio transmission here as we're ready to get going for the second stage here at Phoenix Raceway. Now as the green flag is back out and we are underway for the start of stage 2, and I'm going to get aggressive here, go 3 wide up the inside of Kurt Busch as well as our teammate Martin Truex Jr. It's the final race of the season. What do we got to lose now as we dive down into turns 1? We've made it through this whole season surprisingly without making a rival, which is really nice to have. Now I'm actually going to show my season stats in the next episode because once the season's over, you can't access it until you actually start the next season. So I will be showing it though in the next episode or the Daytona 500 episode, one of them. Now as we come through out of turns 4, actually passing our teammate now of Martin Truex Jr., getting to the back of the 21 of Matt DiBenedetto, who's had a rough last half of this season. He's got speed, he's just had so much bad luck with mechanical issues, tire failures and whatnot. Now as we come through turns 1 and 2, now Truex actually gets back up my inside, but there you see a big development. Jimmie Johnson has passed Denny Hamlin and has taken the championship lead here at Phoenix Raceway. As we go into turn 3, Hamlin just has no speed at all in that car. All of a sudden, about halfway through stage 1, he just started falling off. Joey Logano, he's now clamped up into P11 just behind us as we run P10 now as we get right to the back of Denny Hamlin into turns 1. But we came through now on lap 4 and actually faded a little bit behind Hamlin as Logano, he would fight up my inside now. So it was pretty evident, like I said earlier, that the car is definitely more of a long run car. We came through turns 1 here and now on lap 5, and it's just, I just didn't quite have that short run speed that I needed, but I still had to run off the corner here on the exit of turns 2 to be able to stay ahead of the Penske driver of Joey Logano. But Jimmie Johnson now had about 4 or 5 spots between himself and Denny Hamlin there as we came through out of turns 4. Now on lap 7, the car started to come to me a bit and I started running down our teammate here of Hamlin. So now it was Clint Bowyer leading the way here in Phoenix Raceway now on lap 9 of the stage in his final race. You're looking for a storybook ending on his part as we come through turns 3, trying to get to the inside of Hamlin if possible. Matt Kenseth was also up in the mix in P2 in his last races to come through out of turns 2 now on lap 10, 16 laps to go in the stage, and I finally get enough of a run on Hamlin that I send it up the inside here into turn 3, and we're going to try and pass Hamlin, and we nearly clear him out of 4. No, he's going to fight back there on the exit of the corner as we come through to cross the line side by side with Denny Hamlin here in the Fan Shield 500 at Phoenix Raceway as we dive down into turns 1, trying my best to clear our Joe Gibbs Racing teammate who's looking for his first championship, but with the pace he's setting right now, he is not going to get that first championship here today, as I think Joey Logano might even have the speed to potentially run down Denny Hamlin before this second stage is over. Something must be wrong with the 11, guys. He was so fast earlier, now he's just falling. There you heard a radio transmission from myself, just looking for a little bit of clarity. What's going on with the 11 car? He was so fast earlier, and now look at him. He is now holding on for dear life in P10 as we would, though, continue to run down Matt DiBenedetto now in the 21 car, who's having a very solid run today. Jimmie Johnson now up into the 5th position as we come through out of turns 2, looking to the inside of the 21 of DiBenedetto as we dive down into turn 3, trying to move up another position, and sure enough, out of turns 4, we clear Matt DiBenedetto for the 8th position. Now with less than 10 laps to go as we cross the line here in stage 2. Clint Bowyer continues to lead the way as we dive down towards turns 1, and now as we came through on lap 19, continuing to close in on this next group of cars. William Byron up in the mix. Byron has had a solid season, still hasn't won a race here in his Cup Series career as we started the career mode before he won in real life, so we consider him still a 0-time winner. As we go down this back straightaway though, you saw the tire icon has come on, so I've worn my tires too much and I was keeping an eye on it. It was down to 19% and I was going about 5 to 6% wear a lap, so I realized I'm not going to make it to the end of this stage, so we really have to back down the speed in this car to make sure I can have that right rear tire hang on. So you can see I start giving up quite a bit of time here as we come through out of turns 2, now with 3 laps to go on the second stage, and I was letting the 21 of Matt DiBenedetto run me down because I just had nothing to push at this point. So DiBenedetto goes by on the inside here as we dive down into turn 3, approaching the final lap of the second stage. Clint Bowyer continues to lead the way as we exit turns 4. I'm just limping at home because you see the right rear tire is at 3%. We just got to make sure we bring it to the line as we dive down into turns 1. I was really just hoping we're going to get a caution any moment because you see there for a brief moment 2% on the right rear tire. Hamlin closing in now down to 1%. We got to do half a lap on 1% on the right rear tire as we dive down into turns 3. I'm just cruising into the corner, just hoping that we make it as we come through out of turns 4 in front of Denny Hamlin now. As you see, there's sparks coming from the right rear tire, and it goes. The tire blows as we cross the line. Hamlin gets into the side of us now as we hit the outside wall. A few more cars coming through to run into the side of us. Kyle Busch might have been a part of that now, as the caution though was out, not for me, but for the stage end. But we still blew the tire just before the line, which actually did give us damage. 3 seconds worth of damage there, as that was a bit of a moment, but thankfully we still crossed the line in P9 here now as we're going to get ready to go green for the third and final stage here at Phoenix Raceway. So a bit of a hectic end there now as Matt Kenseth dropped 6 positions on the pit lane. He's going to be P8. Joey Logano just in front of us is now going to be the closest competitor to Jimmie Johnson now as the third and final stage is underway here in the season finale at Phoenix Raceway. Jimmie Johnson finds himself in the 3rd position there as I actually got into the back of the 22 as we dive down into turns 1. He's going to go sideways, but he saves it there. Very easy save made from the 22 of Logano. Kyle Busch there was on my outside for a brief moment as we exit turns 2 side by side with Kevin Harvick. Only 29 laps to go in the 2020 NASCAR Cup Series season here as we dive down into turns 3 wide now with Kenseth and Logano. Jimmie Johnson up into 2nd place behind Clint Bowyer as we come through to cross the line, completing the first and opening lap of stage 3 side by side with Matt Kenseth in his final race of his Cup Series career. Now as Kurt Busch actually sneaks up my inside, we're still 3 wide as we come through out of turns 2. We were even 4 wide, I think, for a moment there between myself, Kenseth, Kurt Busch, and Kevin Harvick now as we're still side by side with the 1 car though into turn 3, but he does have quite a bit of speed there as he might be able to clear me as we exit turns 4 going down this front stretch. And as well, Keselowski is able to get to my inside, nearly making contact there with the 1 car of Kurt Busch, and we fight back here side by side pretty even as we dive down into the first turn now as Johnson continues to put pressure on the back of Clint Bowyer. We come through on lap 53 and I'm just continuing to try and just hold on this outside lane. We're side by side now with Keselowski as we go down towards turn 3, but we have enough of a run that I slide down in front of him into turn 3 and we hold on to that 10th position as we try to get to the back of the 1 of Kurt Busch and once again try to make a pass on him. And sure enough, we come through on lap 54 and we just really haven't made a whole lot of progress there. Now as the 24 of William Byron blows the tire on the exit of turns 2 with 25 laps to go. Caution is going to come out here in Phoenix. Very unfortunate for the 24 of Byron. That's really the reason he got eliminated in the playoffs, was because of bad luck with mechanical issues like that. Is of course it was time to come to the pit lane. Very easy call, just a splash of fuel and right side tires is what I decided to do. I didn't know if it was going to be the right call, but sure enough it was. It keeps us in P9. I think Johnson's about to run away with this thing, guys. I mean, no one can even get to him. There you hear my radio transmission again now as we're ready to go back green for what could be the final restart of the season here in the career mode now. Right on the back again of the 22 of Joey Logano, who seems to be maybe the only one that could put a fight to Jimmie Johnson. Hamlin had so much speed earlier in this race, and now he just continues to fade as he's been taken 3 wide behind from Alex Bowman and Matt Kenseth there. Bowman in his final race in the 88 before just kind of moving over to his teammate's car, of course, of Jimmie Johnson's as we dive down into turns 3 now, and then we're going to have Eric Jones jump from the 73 car into that 88 car next season as we came through on lap 62, still fighting here with the 1 car of Kurt Busch as we dive down into the corner. And finally though, we're starting to really get this car to kind of come into my favor, and as we exit turns 4 though, Kurt's actually able to get back ahead of me, so we go into turns 1 again on lap 65 and we just continue this side-by-side battle with Kurt Busch. Clint Bowyer, though, continuing to lead. Johnson's actually faded a little bit from the 2nd position as we go down this back straightaway. And now into turn 3, we're going to be able to clear Kurt Busch into the corner and then try to get up the inside as well of the 21 of Paul Menard now as we come through out of turns 4. Very close quarters there with the 21 as we come through, crossing the line. 13 laps remain here in Phoenix. A little bit of contact there on that left rear of Matt DiBenedetto as we dive down into turns 1. And now the 21's going to go sideways. He runs into the right front of us, and now we go spinning there with contact from the 18 of Final Four competitor, as well as the 1 car of Kurt Busch. The 2 Busch brothers involved as a caution is out here in Phoenix Raceway. Whoops, that was entirely my fault. Yeah, I mean, it's final race of the season. I don't even care at this point. Just go tell Matt I'm sorry. There you heard what I said on the radio. At this point, I didn't care, I mean, we just got eliminated from the playoffs in the round of 8, and I was just like, whatever, it's the final race. Sorry to Matt, though. It was my fault. I drove inside of him. But now we're ready to go green for what will be the final restart of the season, and now we have Jimmie Johnson and Joey Logano on the same row, so Logano could still get this championship now as the green flag is back out. Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, they're not really in the picture at this point, so it's going to be between Jimmie Johnson and Joey Logano, but fortunately for Johnson, he's on the inside of the 6th of Newman. Logano's stuck on the outside of me as we come through out of turns 2. Logano, of course, would like to get down to that bottom as soon as he possibly can as we go down this back straightaway towards turn 3. We clear Logano, and sure enough, he's going to try to get to that bottom, but no, Brad Keselowski, his teammate, gets up the inside of him as we exit turns 4, so this plays in to Jimmie Johnson's hands as we were on lap 69. Nice right there, but we come through to lap 79 laps to go here in the 2020 season. Clint Boyer, Cole Custer run P1, P2, great runs for them. Jimmie Johnson moves into P3 in front of Martin Truex Jr., and now I move into P5, passing Ryan Newman, and now what it could have been if we had made it to the Final Four, running way better than I ever anticipated, because we would continue to get to the inside of our teammate Martin Truex Jr., and now try to take over the 4th possession here in Phoenix. We could have had a chance to fight Jimmie Johnson for the championship here as we dive down into turns 3, and we are going to clear Martin Truex Jr. on the exit of turns 4, but obviously I don't want to mess with Jimmie Johnson too much. Kyle Busch had actually moved into the 2nd position for the championship battle as we came through down into turn 3 now on lap 74. We had a good car. We were closing in on the back of the 48. Kyle Busch now just 2 positions or so behind Jimmie Johnson with 4 laps to go, or 2 cars in between himself and Johnson, I should say, and we come through out of turns 2 now on lap 76. Only 3 laps to go here in the season, and now I'm not trying to force anything on the 48 to Jimmie Johnson. I don't want to be that guy that maybe tries to make a move, runs into the back of him, takes him out now as we come through out of turns 4. 2 laps to go, not only for Jimmie Johnson to get his 8th championship, but Clint Boyer, who's gone winless for so long, is about to get a win in his final race of his career as we come through out of turns 2. He's given away a few wins earlier this season at a track like Richmond and I believe Talladega, both in overtime restarts where he had the lead. Now, as we dive down though into turns 3 and 4, and here we are out of turns 4, Clint Boyer coming through to take the final lap now in Phoenix. Jimmie Johnson is about to become an 8-time champion if nothing goes wrong here on this final lap as we dive down into turns 1/4 the final time. Like I said, I was pretty evident that I had the speed probably to pass the 48 and the 41, but I was just trying to make sure I did not make a silly move here as we have half a lap to go in Phoenix as we come through turns 3 and turns 4. It's going to be a storybook ending with Boyer winning in his final race, and Jimmie Johnson in his final race is going to win his 8th championship to break the tie with Dale Earnhardt and Richard Petty. Jimmie Johnson is an 8-time Cup Series champion here in Phoenix Raceway as Kyle Busch comes up a few positions short of P6. Logano all the way down in P12. Hamlin faded all the way down to P18 by the end of the race. But the story, of course, is on Jimmie Johnson. There's you see William Byron down in 40th, but Johnson gets to come through and do his championship celebratory burnout there. What a day for Jimmie Johnson. I did not anticipate it to get him a championship, and he didn't need to win the race to win the championship. I mean, Kyle Busch struggled, Joey Logano struggled, Denny Hamlin struggled, and it played right into Jimmie Johnson's favor, of course. Now, as you see, the point standings on your screen. So Johnson had 4 wins on the season, Hamlin the most with 7, and he still managed to lose the championship. I myself actually am a fan of Denny Hamlin as well as Daniel Suarez, so it sucked to see Hamlin lose that, but at the same time really cool to see Jimmie Johnson win. But now we still have a post-race interview here to do for the final time with Jay Cook.
Well, Gary, you had a solid finish to cap off your rookie season. What kind of grade would you give yourself after these 36 races, and what's the expectation going into next season?
I think I'd give our season like a B, like a solid B. We had a decent season. We won a couple races, which was really cool. One of those was a playoff race at Bristol, and of course we won Indianapolis there earlier. But we definitely have the speed to win more, and that's really the expectation going into next season. Is I want to aim for at least 3 to 4 wins in our second season with this 20 car now. And I don't know what my future looks like after next season now, but we'll have to wait and see. And hopefully I can prove myself and remain maybe in the 20 car, but we'll see what happens. So thankful for everyone's support this season, and we'll go out next season and try to maybe even go for a championship. That'd be really cool. We could have done it today if we made the Final Four, but it just wasn't meant to be. All right, there you heard the post-race interview between myself and Jay Cook. Now, the season has come to a conclusion. In the next episode, I'll be going through all of the silly season stuff that you guys need to be aware of going into the next season. As always, if you guys enjoyed, you do know what to do, and I'll have an announcement coming up on the Truck Series. There's so much stuff coming in the next episode that you guys are going to have to watch out for. It's going to be an important one, even though there's not going to be a race. But thank you all for sticking around throughout this season. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys out in the next episode for all the silly season stuff you need to know. Have a great day, everybody.